Guess what?
We've been watching the election. Hi, welcome. This is a special edition of the Postmodern family.
What's up?
Hey-o! We're here to give you our impressions of the general election that we just experienced.
The UK election 2017.
Yes.
The Conservatives with Theresa May as their leader and
The
Labour
Party with Jeremy Corbyn as their leader. Theresa May gambled by calling a so-called snap election, which is an unscheduled election. Elections usually occur every 5 years for MPs. But the polls showed that she had a massive advantage, and Jeremy Corbyn was very unpopular. So she said, I'm going to call this election so I can do what I want. So it turned out very negative for her. She lost, I think it was like 30 seats or something.
Yeah, she lost a majority. I mean, they had a Conservative majority in Parliament, and she lost it. She got too confident, I think.
Yeah, so she just campaigned very poorly, I think, is the analysis after the fact. She was very wooden, fake, disingenuous. Her manifesto seemed, I haven't looked at it, but seemed to be a catastrophe. Yeah. And Jeremy Corbyn came off as very genuine and caring and principled and honest.
To get a majority in Parliament, you have to have 326 seats. And the Conservatives were 8 short in the final counting. Yes. And so that means they're in a hung parliament, which I had to look up.
It's hung, which is there's no clear winner.
So yeah, for the Americans, it means that they don't know who the prime minister is yet. They're still figuring it out. You would think that by this morning they would be able to announce if it was still Theresa May or if it was Jeremy Corbyn.
We've experienced the Bush-Gore thing where they didn't know for a few weeks. But yeah, it's not normal to not know who the president is the next day. So Theresa May and the Conservatives had to decide whether they would form what's called a coalition government, in which they join up with another party and give them special privileges, or they just form what's called a minority government and ask another party to vote with them, basically, for legislation. From the latest news, she's talked to the DUP, which is
the Democratic Union Party
in Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland is like a Protestant stronghold. So they're very pro-Great Britain, very pro-UK. They were very pro-Brexit. So they're a good partner
and they're
for the Tories.
And they also really hate Corbyn.
They do. So apparently they have struck a deal in which they're going to ask the DUP to vote with them on legislation. So it's a very fragile government because every legislation could technically fail.
I've been really entertained by this, actually, because I kind of feel like this is a circus.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that you have a Trump-like character in this election in Jeremy Corbyn, who everyone, all the press, all the major people call, a buffoon, a clown. Is he even a serious candidate? And he says outlandish things. Many people at work today came out as Labour sympathizers and Jeremy Corbyn fans, and I just thought, you know what? As you've come out as a Jeremy Corbyn fan now, you can never, ever criticize someone who is a Donald Trump fan. So we can't vote anyway. But it's been very entertaining to watch, and Theresa May has been very wooden, whereas Jeremy Corbyn seems to come off very genuine.
So in contrast, American elections are different. So we vote for the actual president.
Every 4 years.
There's a name on the ballot. You vote for that person. So you're not really voting for your MP who represents your constituencies.
It's different and the same, though. I mean, so in the U.S., you're vying for electoral college votes in every state. There's just a specific number that every state is awarded, but you vote for the name of the presidential candidate in that state. Mm-hmm. So once that candidate, whatever candidate wins the majority vote in that state, wins all of those electoral college votes, and those votes are cast by so-called electoral college voters, people. But in the UK, right, so you're just voting for your representative in your constituency. And that representative is a member of a party, and if that party wins, then that party's leader is the prime minister.
So you're voting for their seat in parliament, is that correct?
That's right. So you're not voting directly for Theresa May, you're voting for your the constituent representative, your MP.
And then the other crazy thing is Jeremy Corbyn is going to stick around because he got voted into parliament.
That's
and
right.
So you've got Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn who probably hate each other, and they have to work together. Whereas in America, you had Trump and you had Hillary Clinton, and then Trump won and Hillary Clinton just kind of disappears. Like, she doesn't have any power in the government. Basically, they have to figure out how they're going to coexist.
Another major difference is that in parliament, the legislative body and executive body are one. So Theresa May, if she forms this minority government and she's the leader of parliament, she proposes the legislation and then she and her party vote on it. And whereas in the US, the president is called the executive, and all he does is receive legislation from the legislative body, Congress, and then signs it or doesn't sign it. He has no stake in. He doesn't have any legal power in the legislative process.
Right. I think that's a reflection of the culture of the people here in the UK. I think that people are
more apt to compromise.
Yes.
Versus the US, which is less apt to compromise. It's more my way or the highway in the US.
Like, I can't even imagine if this hung parliament kind of thing happened in the US. So let's say in the US you have to have how many votes to win the presidency?
270 electoral college votes.
And let's say none of the candidates got 270. What would happen?
If neither Trump or Clinton got to 270, then it would go into the House of Representatives, which at the time was Republican dominated.
Oh, okay. Theresa May still has to meet with other parties and figure out how to go ahead and form a government.
She has to actually cooperate with and get the votes of many more people in the cooperation. And that reflects the people, I think. The Remainers are going to see a glimmer of hope that maybe you can reverse Brexit in this.
I see.
Okay, so that's it for this special edition. If you know about the US system, if you know about the parliamentary system, tell us which you think is better and why.
Go ahead and subscribe if you like our videos, and we'll see you guys next time.
Say bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Good girl.